Let me open this thing there. Okay, that's good. And this will be here. Okay, that's good now. So let's look at those trades. Then I'll go through some of my trades if we have time. And if there are not enough trades, we'll watch the market and see if there is any good setup. Let me open. So the first trade which was shared with us is by Ramlal. Ramlal traded ND, took it to the short. And you partial above the daily level. So what was your setup here? Was it a 1 minute average breakdown or a break of view up? Okay, so it was a 1 minute average breakout. I like this. It's not bad. One thing which would have made me worried, I mean, I like that you short term there. That's the setup. It's new 1 minute low, and you took it for a 1 minute open range breakdown. You wanted to get it earlier, but you got a better feel, which is something we can't complain about. One thing is this moving average. I'm usually afraid of those horizontal moving averages. When they are in the way, usually they hold the price action above them, and we could usually get squeezed, similar to what happened right here, or just get stopped out. The best thing I love to see is when I take stocks against horizontal moving averages, is to see them making lower highs above this level. Why is that? Because then it's going to look like a descending triangle, and a descending triangle is a breakout strategy. So if I take a reverse MCD pattern or a descending triangle against a moving average, or against a daily level, I will not really feel bad about it, because those are breakout strategies and they are intended to go for the breakout, right? And look at this here. It actually did make a new 1 minute high, but didn't get to sub out. I'm not sure why you didn't get subbed out. Was your stop loss originally this daily level, or you just held through it when it was going against you? I would assume that this was your stop loss. You held it because you expected it to go down. Okay, now that's not a bad thing, or maybe it is. Look at this. We never know where the market is going to go, right? Yes, we might expect a direction, and because we expect a direction, we get into a trade. But once that doesn't happen and the market proves us wrong, we should bail on the trade, and we can always re-enter if our idea or our thought was correct, and you will make your money back on it. It's better to lose small amount and then make it all back if your idea is correct, rather than losing a lot if it's wrong, right? Yeah, this was again a little bit aggressive ad right there. You added right at the previous day close, and we know the previous day close, daily level, those are levels where day traders take some partials at, and that's because of that, stocks might actually stall a little bit right there. And look at this. This is the daily level, and once it reached it, it just held above it a little bit. Then it went to the previous day close and it held above it. Why is that? Because at those levels, there is some buying pressure. Some traders are getting long, which is not the best idea at those daily levels, and some are taking partials, which is more likely. And that because of that, the price stalls a little bit at those daily levels. And yes, when the stock is weak, it is going to continue dropping down, but we don't go in the first time it actually reaches it. And look at this. Remember, the first time the stock gets into a daily level or moving average or any level we have, it usually bounces out of it because day traders who are short in it are taking some partials, and then it's pulling back. The next time it gets into it, if I partial here, I will not take a new partial once it reaches it, because I would expect a breakout. If it bounces out of it again and then it forms a double bot, then I might take a partial at a new 1 minute high. If not, then I might just hold on to it. So let's see the next trade we have. And this one is for Brian. Let's see what Brian did. Brian traded Roku to the long side. What made you take it to the long side right there? I mean, I think I know it was a new 1 minute high, so it sold off a lot. Round number 58.50. Bounced out of it. He didn't take it to the long side only because it bounced out of 58.50. He took it to the long side on the new 1 minute high. But this is a little bit early partial, right? Or you had a tight stop loss on it when you took it to the long side? Panic mode, okay. I see. So you partialed all the way to view up and then you added more for the squeeze. And this was amazing actually. You like got literally on time before this squeeze. And here at least you held it for the round number 61.50 and then 62.50. Did you have limit orders there? No, you didn't. Okay, that was smart. I like those partials. That's good. That's good. Theron, let's see your trade. Okay, so Theron traded Tesla, and I like this setup a lot. And I actually talked about it in my success webinar, reverse ABCD patterns. I'm not just sure if Theron took it for a reverse ABCD pattern or he had another thought for it. Look at these guys. First of all, Tesla is selling off, right? Selling off a lot, dropping down, and then it consolidates till it touches the 9 moving average. And earlier on the day, I might use the 2 minute chart. I might use the 1 minute chart. Later on the day, I will go for the 5 minute, for the 9 moving average on the 5 minute chart. So look, the drop down, consolidated all the way to the 9, formed a descending triangle on the 2 minute chart, took it for the breakout and started partialing all the way down. This is amazing. It's better to wait for it to get closer to the 9 rather than just shorting it on the first leg down. If you took it to the short side here for a reverse ABCD pattern, he would have been stopped out either on this candle or on this candle. But when you wait for the consolidation to get closer to a resistance area, which is the 9 in this case, and the 9 I love the most, earlier on the day on the 2 minute chart, later on the day on the 5 minute chart, the setup is more likely to work out. At least in my experience. ADG. Let's see how you traded AMD. So you took AMD to the long side at the break of the 50 moving average. Yes, I wouldn't say so late. This is a setup where you get in at the cross of the 50 with the 9 and the 20. Yes, there was still no cross with the 20, but it was a cross with the 9 moving average. It's clearly bounced out of this level, went up, formed small ABCD pattern. You took it for the breakout, added for the breakout, and added again. One thing I like about your trade is that you didn't partial earlier. You held. I don't know why you partial. I think it's because of this ad. So your entry and your ad here was good. This ad was a little bit late. If you added here for the break, literally at this level, it would have been good. But you added when it already moved. And because of this ad right here, I think your average was so huge. And once it started going against you, you just decided to either partial or take a huge part of your position out. If this ad was here, I don't think this would have made you worried, right? But I like that you didn't exit all out. You took some partials more, and you could have left a little bit more for a bigger run, 5%. But that's okay. We'll learn from our mistakes, right? Yeah, this partial was a little bit early. This partial wasn't bad. I like this partial. It's 41 round number. After the breakout, it could just bounce out of there and drop. But I would hold the, not all the time, but I prefer to force myself to hold at those type of trades. Let's see what else you have there. Okay. So this is for you too. You traded mRNA 1, 2, 3, 4, around 4 times or 5 times, if I'm not wrong, right? Let's see what you did there. So the first time, was it short or long? It was the long. I could see why. We have small consolidation right here. It sold off, came back up. You took it for the breakout, but got sold out. So that's totally fine. This one, though, it was so risky. Why is that? Yes, this is an ABCD pattern, and it's close enough to the 9-moving average on the 1 minute chart. But remember, and I'm saying this like every time, the 9-moving average on the 1 minute chart is always close to the price action, right? It's always close to the price action. So we should pay more attention to the 9, at least on the 2 minute. This is the 2 minute chart. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. And but another thing though, the move. Look at this. It was around $2 move, right? Even more than $2, 2.7. And we should check the average true range for the stock when we are getting into it. If it makes in one run around $2-3, we would need to wait for a pullback, and a real pullback, not only 10% pullback, at least 30% pullback. In this case, it did around $2 move, and then it did around 30 or 40-cent pullback. Yes, it did break out, but it was a fake breakout. Broke out only by a few cents, and usually this is my signal to short. When I see a stock which is extended, doing a fake breakout, a new 2-minute low, that's my entry to the short side, and I put my tight stop loss right there for a parabolic reversal. And I've been trading those a lot lately. So yeah, I think if the stock does small fake breakout, it's the best time to actually try to short it. This long, at least here you did get a good entry. I like this one. Drop down, unit high, you took it to the long side, added to your position, partial at the high of the day, which was smart, partial more at a new 1 minute low, which is also great, and the rest out at break even. So here you did really well. I like that all. So let's see what I can. Let me share with you my Roku trade. There it is. Oh, actually, I missed Roku. I was watching Roku for a reversal right now, and unfortunately, I blocked it with the chart. This would have been a perfect entry to enter with around 80 cents stop loss. But yeah, it's okay. We'll catch it somewhere else. So this is my Roku trade right here at the open to the short side. And why did I take it to the short side? Let me get this here. Look at this. It did a huge move from 58 to 63. Now, when I see a stock making this huge of a move, I know that it should do a pullback. Stocks will not just go straight up. They will do some pullbacks eventually. And there was it. It did a drop. I could have taken it to the short side on a new 2-minute low, but I didn't do that. Why? Because the risk to reward, if I shorted at 61.50, I put my stop loss 62.50, wasn't really there. I need a $2 move, and the $2 move means a move all the way below VWAP. By that moment, I didn't know, will it be a reversal or it's going to be simply a pullback? So I decided to continue watching it. And look what happens there. It does a new 1-minute high right here. It looks like a small fake ABCD pattern, and I knew that some traders are actually trading it this way. They will get into the long here, put their stop loss here. It will do this fake breakout, then it closes in the range as a red candle, and once it does the new low, those traders will be a little bit stubborn, holding to their original stop loss. But once it breaks this level, it should just drop down at least to the 9-moving average in the 5-minute chart, which is my target. It did actually drop more, which is a bonus, and that's the best thing about those setups. When you go in when you have the risk to reward to the 9 on the 5, at least 2-1. But I love to go for 3-1 on these types of setups because they're a little bit risky. But if they work even better, that's a bonus where you can actually make much more than expected. My stop loss was here, right above this small consolidation right here. It's climactic reversal, as some traders call it. I just call it parabolic reversal. I didn't watch the level 2. I don't actually watch the level 2 when I'm trading. Okay. So let's see something. Do you guys see anything interesting? Let's watch the market and see if we can catch something. Or we'll review the market. Let me see if I can find something interesting and we'll watch it. I like Codex a little bit. Let's see CODX. Okay, CODX. Let's move it forward. I've taken one more trade on this thing, which actually didn't work out. Now let's see. Yeah, the moves are huge. There is volume. It dropped a lot. I would have loved this thing for a parabolic reversal, which happened. See, new 1 minute high when it's extended of the 9 on the 5, bouncing off a support level and going up, but it moves a lot in 1 minute candle. It's a little bit risky to just go in long. When we go in, we should mind our share size. We should check the risk to reward. Everything should be there before just taking the trade, not only the setup. Roku now looks good for an add to the short. I mean, shorting it right here with a stop loss 71.29, which is 80 cents, and a target of 69. Doesn't look bad. We're having a new 15-minute low. This will not be a new 30-minute low. It's dropping down, but I think it might pull back a little bit. So I'll just wait and see what it does. This will be a chase if we just take it short here. SPY is also looking weak. Let's see. So Avi sent us a trade. Let's check Avi. So Avi now is in LK. This is a live trade. I like this thing. And look at the setup, guys. And the entry was perfect. So it was just doing nothing at the beginning, right? Finally, it did break out and started establishing a trend. Then it did a pullback of 70%. And on ABCD patterns, 50% to 80%. I love those pullbacks. So 70% pullback to the 9 on the 5-minute chart, 20 actually, but was closing above the 9. New 5-minute high, which could have been an entry, but better always wait for the confirmation. Then a new 5-minute high. Along with that, we're having a new 15-minute high. So we're also having an ABCD pattern on the 15-minute chart. Took it to the long side, partial at 32.50 round number. And there it is, still going up. And I think Avi is still in this trade. I hope it continues going up for you. Let me see what LK is doing here. Rock would have been a really good short if I could catch it. It's okay, we can't catch it every time, right? Okay, look at these guys. This was a parabolic reversal as well. I wish you Avi called it a little bit earlier for me. So look at this. going up, extended of the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart with no pullbacks yet. Just look at it, no pullbacks. When I see a stock going up with no pullbacks, I know that at some point it is going to do a pullback. It's not going to go straight back up. Then I'm waiting for this new 2-minute low. I take it to the short side as close as possible. Yes, we don't have confirmation on the 5-minute chart. We don't have a lot of confirmations. The only confirmation which I have is the stock starting to top out, starting to weaken. And you can see here that first it's so strong, small consolidation, breaking up. And now look at this move. Just compare it. You can see that at the beginning, it was going straight back up. Then later, it just starts to top out, getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And then finally, it does this new low, which you could take it to the short side. And what's your target? Remember, the 9 on the 5. Why? Because usually stocks do drop to the 9 on the 5, bounce out of them, and then do an ABCD pattern, or they just consolidate and then do an ABCD pattern, and they can drop down. But a lot of times, if it's so strong, it will just do a pullback and then continue the trend up. So when we take it for the short side right here, we don't go for a reversal all the way to view up. That can happen, similar to what happened on Roku back then. But when we're in a trade at the moment, we don't go in for a reversal. We'll go in for the pullback. We know that the longs, if I was long here at an ABCD pattern and it was making higher highs and higher lows on the 5-minute chart and higher highs and higher lows on the 2-minute chart, I will take some partial at the new 2-minute low. I will take some partial at the new 5-minute low. Other traders will do the same thing. That will cause the price to drop down. Drop down where? Where will the traders start adding to their position? When I partial here, it's not that I'm all out. I take 30% maybe of my position as a partial. I still have 70% in. I see it dropping down. I will not add randomly here or here or here or here, only because it's dropping down a bit. It needs to drop to a support level. And that's the support level I love later in the day, the 9 and the 5. Once it gets closer to it and it starts holding it and then makes new high, that's where I'm going to add and move my stop loss below it. If it drops down, then I might exit all out. If it goes to 32.40, maybe it will continue going higher. I want to see it above those moving averages. See what else we have there. Yes, I do that, Yarni. So how am I trading? I'm double clicking at the chart. Once I double click at the chart, the DAS automatically knows that this is the place I want my stop loss to be at. Now, if I double click above the current price action, it means I want to go short. So this will be my stop loss, and I click at them at my hotkey, and then I get filled to the short side. Let's say 32.38 with a stop loss at 32.50, a hard stop. If it gets there, it will get me stopped out, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. If I want to go to the long side, I double click below it, and that automatically knows that this is supposed to be my stop loss. I click at the hotkey, it gets me filled to the long side. If it drops there, I get stopped out. If not, then not. One thing you should do is enable double click to trade. You see this double click to trade? It should be enabled. If it's not enabled, if you double click on the chart, you'll get the study config pops up. Study config will pop up. So this should be enabled so that you can use this. And then it's just the hotkey. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'll show you some things that guys here. It's because I was in a trade review. I couldn't manage this a little bit well. This is the parabolic reversal, similar to what I was explaining on JD. You can see I took it to the short side here when it was a little bit extended of the 9 on the 5-minute chart. That's it. My stop loss was new 1-minute high. My target was at least the 9 on the 5-minute chart. I saw it was dropping low. I couldn't pay attention to it, but it's okay. I just decided to bail out and look at this. This would have been an amazing trade, but unfortunately, I am not in it. It's okay, we'll catch something else. Yeah, it does hurt. Like, look at this. It was around 10 cents stop loss, and it dropped $1.40 with no new 1-minute high. I am crying here too. So let's see what you did, Daniel. mRNA, you took it to the long side at the break of the open. I like this. I like those 3 candles. 3 candle plays. Green, red, green. It just shows me a little bit of strength. You took it to the long side. I assume you panicked a little bit. And I love to see this. When the stock is going up, I see this working sometimes, but I usually don't take these type of setups. Not that they're wrong or that they don't work out. I just don't see a pullback yet. And I'm afraid, because look at this, the general trend is to the downside. I'm afraid that they will just do this. I want to see it making a new low and fail. Once I see it's doing a new low, which is sort of a reverse ABCD pattern, but then gets back up after this hammer, that's where I feel more confident. So when the stock is just going up or reversing up, even if it breaks view up, I usually avoid it. Once it does a small pullback, like a fake reverse ABCD pattern, that's when I like it. So this entry, I like it so much. Partials, not so bad. Too much, but yeah, not so bad. Yeah, the winner is going to get an iPhone 11 Pro on the TraderGS scanner, but not me. I'm getting nothing. I'm just testing them. All right, guys, let's continue watching the market and see. So look at these guys. JD, first new 2-minute high. I would expect it to pull back a little bit. I just don't want to enter right here. It didn't bounce off any support level, but this is it. Look at this. It's going straight. This is a new high, not a bad entry, tight stop loss, and then just aim for a 2-to-1. And the 2-to-1 will be even below a new 5-minute high, which is not that bad. But I don't like that it didn't bounce off any support, not even the round number 38. If it bounced off 38.20 and did this pattern, I would have taken it to the long side here. Thanks, Chris. Let's see what else we have. Market is just selling off. Everything is just extended. There is nothing which is sitting up, which I really like. If you guys have anything, just let me know. You took JD to the long side, Chris? Yeah, that might not be the worst idea. Okay, I need to sit properly. Let's see. If there is anything nice. Let's check INO. You're going to partial at 38.90. Look, these type of setups, I usually need to get in as early as possible. I wouldn't enter it right here because this would make my stop loss around 30 cents. So my target would be 39.10, which is a little bit so far above the 9 and the 5. I want to get in as close as possible, which is 38.40 with a stop loss 38.30, 10 cents. I can partial at 2-to-1, 38.60, 3-to-1, 38.70, 4-to-1, 38.80. On these type of steps, you don't need to hesitate. You either get in or you just avoid it. Now let's see what else we have. Yeah, I was about to talk about. I know. Same thing, huge drop, no pullbacks yet. I like that we had 4 confirmation candles here about it topping, bottoming. A hammer, a doji, a bullish candle, a hammer, a new high. That wouldn't have been a bad long to the 905. Look at these guys. You see how it's like literally touched it and bounced out of it. So when you get into those type of setups, I mean, it can continue going higher, yes. But most of the time, if it wants to continue the downtrend, it will bounce with this moving average, similar what happened here. So the 9 and the 5 should be the target. If the 9 and the 5 doesn't give me at least 2 to 1, I'm not taking the trade. Let's see what JD did. So it's forming small reverse ABCD pattern, but this is not enough pullback. I'm not taking these type of reverse ABCD patterns. Why is that? It was a huge drop, but small pullback. This is not a reverse ABCD pattern to me. I'm just avoiding this trade. Not short and not long. Just wait for a setup. Let's see what Bobby did. Bobby shared with us a trade he's taken yesterday. So it was mRNA. I see what you did there. This is a little bit late. Why is that? You took it literally into the daily level, right? So it dropped down, sold off, held this level right here, did a new 1 minute high. So this wouldn't have been a bad entry, rejecting the moving average, which it held before. This kind of not bad, but this is already too late, right? You took it literally into the daily moving average, which is the resistance. We usually, when we're trading, we try to get in as close as possible to the support and partial as close as possible to the resistance. We don't go long into the resistance and out at the support, right? Yeah, I know that, and you know that, which is good. Mzari is asking on YouTube, when you enter a trade, do you put a stop loss in a separate hotkey? No, I have one hotkey which automatically puts a stop loss to me. So I'm getting in, pressing the hotkey, it puts my stop loss, let's say here, and I'm in the trade. When I'm just partialing, the next hotkey, once I take, let's say, 1/3 of my position, my hotkey, my stop loss automatically moves to my break even area. But you can always use the montage to put a stop loss. Most of the time, you'll have time to do that. Let's get back to JD. So look at this now. If it does a red candle, I will not like it because this will be like a red, green, red, which is more likely to be a short. But that doesn't mean I'm going to short it. Why is that? Because with an entry of 38.40 and a stop loss with at least 38.65, I'd need at least 50 cents move, which is below VWAP. The risk to reward isn't there, so I'm just avoiding the stock and continuing to watch it. Let's see what Bobby else sent us. So JD, now this is not that bad. I like it. I mean, it's not bad at all. So it is strong. It's holding above, right? Pulling back to view up, holding view up, holding view up, closing above view up, making a new high. You took it to the long side, partial at the break of the high of this level right here, which is smart. The rest at break even. Now this was well managed. You bought as close as possible to the support and you sold at the resistance. That's amazing. Roku from today, let's see. Now Roku is not bad as well. I like it. So look at this. It sold off, started making higher low, higher low, higher low, started breaking out with volume above this level area. You see this? You could see that this is the area where it opened at. sold off, and this is where it broke up. I wouldn't have taken it to the shorts alongside right here. I would have waited for the break, but I think if I waited for the break, I would have been late to the party. So good job on this one. A little bit early partials, but I assume if you had a tight stop loss, this would have been a good risk to reward. Yes, Ala, I can share them. I'll send you a link to the forums right now where we have those hotkeys. You're welcome, Zari. Let's get back there. So you can find them there. Good job, Chris. I mean, we always learn from our bad trades, right? So look at JD. See this? Now this is what I expected it to do. And now it looks that it wants to break down, but again, the risk to reward isn't there, so just avoiding the trade. Let's wait for something interesting to trade. Market is selling off. I can't find anything interesting right now. mRNA is interesting. It's selling off a lot. I'm not sure how much. Let's watch something else. PQN, view a bounce. Let's check PQN. I can't tell if it's going to bounce out of view up. This was a huge drop. Now it's at an area where it can go literally anywhere, right? It can either bounce or break down. That's true. I mean, I can see that it's more weak. We're having a 30-minute low, new 15-minute low, and the 5-minute it's downtrending, no pullbacks yet. So it can bounce, but it can also break down. The volume isn't that high on it. I mean, it looks like it has a volume, 9 million shares traded, but it's not so liquid. Look at it. It's just holding the same level for a long time. It's not that it's trading. It's not active. You see how it's just frozen? I wouldn't argue with that. Definitely, Chris. When you're trading something a lot, you get feel of it and you get used to it. Jamie, no, I'm not in DAS competition. Low, someone is asking about low. Let's see low. Well, it looks like it might go to view up, but look at this. It's making higher lows on the 5-minute chart. It's not that weak. It can drop down, and if it breaks above 73, it can go up. It can also go to the 50 on the 1-minute chart. Stocks love this moving average and then bounce out of it. So it's in the middle of the move. This was a good short right here. Extended, parabolic, far from the 9, short, target the 9. Now here at the 9, it can literally go do anything. It can either go up, it can drop down to the 20 and bounce. It can just go to the daily, it can go to the 50 on the 2-minute chart. There is a lot of support down there. When it was here, if you took it to the short side, there is nothing below it all the way to the 9, which could have been a really good short. Let's see. What Roku is doing. Roku is still dropping. Roku is following the SPY. JD can literally do anything here. Let's watch it. Oxy below VWAP might lose support. Let's see Oxy. Yeah, so Oxy is already weak. I like this. So look, this it dropped down to VWAP. Now I wouldn't say that it's going to drop it right here because at this area it can just bounce out of it and it can drop down. It did a small pullback, continue dropping. I don't like this pullback because it's really small, but it looks weak. Let's continue watching it and see what it does later. Farin, Andrew is not doing the trade review session. I'm doing it, but Andrew is trading in the morning in the chat room at 9:30. So let's see. Let's see there. You see, just bounce of the previous day close, which is why I'm not taking them to the short side. Even though the breakdown doesn't always mean that they are going to continue going lower. They might bounce. They can just do anything. It's better when we get in as close as possible to the support if you want to go long and sell at the resistance or the other way around. When the stock is already doing a move, it's just a chase. When the stock is somewhere here in between, like at this area, this is where I just avoid it. Because here it can just do anything. I like to get in closer to supports and resistances. Like around here, if it starts doing something to the long side, I might take it because it was strong and this is a 50% pullback. Let's get back to JD. So look, this looks like it started bottoming down. Now this is where I like to trade the stocks. If I want to take JD to the long side, this would be the place because it's close to the support area. I would take it to the long side somewhere around here, have a 20-cent stop loss, and we have a lot of room all the way up to the high of the day, which is $40. Not that it is going to go there, but the risk to reward is there. I wouldn't take it to the long side though for one reason. This moving average right here. Stocks usually love to pull back to the cross and then bounce out of that. It's just based on what I'm seeing a lot. And I just prefer avoiding this trade. But at least we have a new 15-minute high. We have clear support area here. We have clear support area right here. We have clear support area right here. And we trade closer to the supports and sell closer to the resistance. Yeah, Daniel, that's actually a good question. Sometimes, let's say we're having an ABCD pattern, okay? The stock is going up, then it's pulling back. And some people say, this is the 9-moving average in the 5-minute chart, let's assume, okay? How do I love to trade this type of stuff? I want to see him going to the 9, go up, and here I go in. People are saying that we should trade or day traders, whatever. We want to trade as close as possible to the support, right? Get in at pullbacks, that's what we say. And those pullbacks should be to a technical level, a moving average, for example. Some do this, they buy in here. When it's going down, they buy in here before the confirmation of the setup. What happens after that? Or what could happen after that? Just a drop down. So yes, you get as close as possible at the support, but then the trade just failed. Before doing that, we need to confirm that this level is going to act as support. So it's dropping down. I want to see what it's doing here. If I'm that type of trader which wants to get in as close as possible to the support, I want to see what's happening here. I see it bouncing out of it. Okay, now I like it. I can do one of the two things. I either go to the long side right here, okay, and put my stop loss at the C, or I want to go in as close as possible to the support. I wait for the pullback. Once I see the pullback, I will get in here on the drop. Why is that? Because the setup is already confirmed. The stock dropped down, it hit the support, it bounced out of it. Okay, now this is a setup. This is A, B, C, D. Normally, I would take it long right here, and I put my stop loss right here. Why would I put my stop loss here? Because I know that the stock might actually pull back all the way to my original stop loss and bounce out of it. Since I know that it can do that, and I'm willing to enter here and hold it all the way down here, why wouldn't I enter here and hold it all the way down here with a better entry? Yes, pullback of the pullback. When you're watching the market, just look at this. Look at this. Let me open JD, okay? I'll show you something. On the JD Roku, for example. Look at the candles. Usually, a candle is pulling back closer to the previous candle low, but they still go make higher highs. Look at this candle, for example, again. Oh my God, my Epic Pen freezed. Sorry about that. Let me zoom it in. Look at this. So you could enter, for example, oh my God, again, not that button. Let me get Epic Pen back. You could enter here to the long at the breakout, but since you already confirmed that this is a strong support, look at this. What could you do? You could wait for the pullback. No, this was a pullback. This was a pullback. You will wait for a new pullback closer to the 9 and get in here. Instead of getting in long here and putting your stop loss down here, you'll just get closer to the support. Is it clear? Yeah, you need to have some sort of confirmation out of this support, definitely. Okay, that's perfect. I can't see anything interesting now again. Let me just go through the watch list quickly. If there is nothing, guys, you can have or ask me any questions. If there is anything in particular you want me to see, let me know. If not, let me quickly check. I think we could be done for today. Guys on YouTube, also, if you have any questions, don't feel shy to ask. Always happy to help. Roku is still dropping down. See this? 1, 2, 3. Closer to the 9. That's why I'm not taking it to the short side here, because if I take it to the short side, I don't want to give it much room. I can get stopped out. And I'm not taking it to the long side because still no confirmation. I want to see it doing whatever it does. So my next level, which I like, is the $66. Why is that? Stock is so strong. It started the trend from here all the way up there. If it goes to 66, it will be around 60% pullback or 70, somewhere around that. I like this pullback. If it starts holding the 20 moving average in the 15-minute chart, holding it, confirming that it's holding it, starts curling back up, that's where I'm going to take it to the long side. If it decides to continue going lower, I'll just let it go lower because this is not the best entry take to the short side. It already did the move. After 10:30 a.m., Daniel, yes, I do watch the 9 moving average and the 15-minute chart, definitely. The 15-minute chart is always up there. Those are the best two charts I love to watch. And definitely, I do pay attention to the 9 on the 15 and the 9 on the 5, both of them. Daniela, you're right about it. Definitely. They do hit the 9 and the 15. They start curling above it, and then they just continue the trend up. And I'll show you an example on that. It's not a clear one, but it is. You could see here the drop down. It was respecting the 9 and the 15. It was closing every time below it, except for those two candles, and then it just went down. Codex isn't the best example because it just was choppy. NVIDIA isn't a bad one. There it is, NVIDIA. And NVIDIA, guys, by the way, this was a parabolic reversal. I don't know if I explained it to you or not, if I showed you this trade. I think I didn't. I just showed you Roku. You see this? It was uptrending with no pullbacks, new 5-minute low, double top on the 1-minute chart, second top lower than the first one. And look at this. I didn't take it to the short side when it did this new low. When it did this low and it dropped down, I didn't take it to the short because I didn't like this risk to reward. And I knew since it was consolidating, it might consolidate a little bit more. I saw it pulling back right here. And that's where I took it just on the pullback. I was lucky to get at the top of the candle. But yeah, usually wait for the pullback. I have the confirmation that it's weak. Took it to the short side. See, took it to the short side. I didn't take it on a new 2-minute low. Didn't take it on a 1-minute low. Just took it on the small pullback. Tightened my stop loss. And what was the target? The 9 on the 5-minute chart. It did break it because the drop was fast, but it's the 9 and the 5. Oh, look at this. It's the 9 and the 5 where it bounced off. Had it continued going lower, that would have been perfect. But that doesn't happen a lot. When it happens, it's amazing. Same thing here. Look at this, but I wasn't watching it. Extended of the 9, closer to a daily level. New 2-minute low, stop loss, and that's a move. And that's the bonus. Here, you would take it to the short side. Put your around $1 stop loss. Get your $2 to 16 or $3 actually, 3 to 1 to the 9 and the 5. And if it breaks down, that's a bonus. So right, guys, that's it for today. You find these parabolic moves using I just browse. I just go through my watch list, go one, another, third one. When I see a stock which is trending, I pay more attention to it because the stock which is trending, sometimes it starts trending nicely, slowly, and then it goes parabolic, and then it just dies down. If it continues trending nicely with no parabolic move, I'll just ignore it. So, okay, guys, have a great day. Don't overtrade, don't chase, be selective about your trades. If you have any questions, you can always email me at ayman@beerbletraders.com, and I will still be in the chat room. Thank you guys for be on YouTube for being here with us. If you have any questions, you can always email me. I'll type my email, ayman@beerbletraders.com. And Forex for Freedom, I'm using Beer Bull Traders chat room. I'll also type it here. That's the chat room I'm in. If you have any further questions, you can always email me. I'm usually replying very fast. Stay safe, everyone, and have a good day. Bye-bye.